Say something! Come on, it's gonna be funny.
Oh,
yes.
He really froze.
Yeah, he really did. He didn't want to be on. No, you keep all of that.
Can I say something?
Yes. On our podcast, please.
Yeah, there's something about you two that I just think should be noted, which is, this is just a compliment, but just, y'all act genuinely, like, into each other.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
And I think that's such a good thing, and I feel like it's so, like, that's an underrated, like, trait that isn't necessarily, like, palpable, but that's just a fun thing that I thought I'd share.
That's
about
really
you
kind. Thank you.
Your husband.
I like that.
You're like, well, I'm leaving him. I'm like,
well, we do like each other, so,
yeah.
you know, we have that going for each other. I might try to plug in these headphones, which I understand is going to ruin what flow we've already began.
No, I love it.
Yeah. For the listener at home, we are indeed trying something new.
Yeah.
And
we tried to record yesterday. Yeah, we tried everybody to record yesterday, and it was just kind of a mess.
It was like a cosmic mess, would you say?
Yeah, and it was just so sad because there wasn't anything I could do, really you could do either. It was just not working, and we had this big lag, listeners. That was a real bummer. And so then it was like, well, what's worse, having a huge lag, which for me is like unacceptable, or Amanda was having to hear, you were having to hear yourself
through your speakers, which was tough.
An absolute nightmare. And so it was just like, nah, this is going to be a no. So,
well, and then it turned out a few outside things were going on.
Okay.
Well, my baby was crying in the background, which is unusual. And that was disalarming. And then as we're hopping off the phone call, because we did eventually just end up on a phone call.
We just FaceTimed.
Right. Trying to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah.
You then revealed, oh yeah, well, I haven't eaten dinner. I was like, what?
Oh,
it was like already 9 o'clock my time, and you're just, and we hadn't recorded a thing.
I was pretty hungry. Yeah.
So just on like a cosmic sense, I really feel like it was not in the old cards for us.
Right. Well, I think too, we have to remember the podcast is my entire life and brand, and so like, you know, no dinner, no worries. It's just like, it just didn't happen. And listeners should know I am on break, so there are no rules on spring break. True. And so with that, my schedule is like a little bit off with like food eating and stuff. So like, I ended up having a smoothie at like 4 or something. So I wasn't like super hungry. And then I ended up chatting with a friend of mine on the phone for like 2 hours. And then I'm like, oh, I got to get ready for the podcast. So I had enough time. Exactly. I know that's like really threatening.
Hard for me to hear, but I'm just going to push through.
Truly.
Oh yeah, I have another friend I still have to talk to.
I know. And it's like, we laugh about this, but I feel like whenever you're like, and then I had the best time with this other person, I'm like, yeah, she sounds great. Like, and you're
she
like,
sounds
what?
like everything I'm not.
Exactly.
And it just breaks into Amy, and she's in like a 2000s music video, like with the rain, you know, coming down on the.
Isn't she lucky? Yeah. I don't know. I feel that way. But I did have enough time yesterday to make myself an Aperol Spritz for our call.
Yeah.
Which is kind of involved. Like, you know, just, you know, you got to cut up an orange. There's a lot.
Still, I've never had one, Ames.
Really?
I would love to be a part of the people who know and who love a good Aperol Spritz, but I'm just not.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was until we went to Italy for the first time. Everyone, roll your eyes, go ahead. But here's the thing, I didn't actually have it in Italy. I got home, and then our good friends were like, wow, Aperol Spritz were the best. And I was like, huh? So I just didn't have it at all while we were there. And I think I tried it maybe in the States, and then the next time I went, I was like, I will understand the trend. And then I was like, oh, actually, like, I like this so much. This is really good. So, yeah.
Sure. We were at a wedding, last summer, and they had an open bar, and, they did, like, signature, like, you could get whatever you wanted, but then, of course, they had cutesy little cards with, like, oh, what the bride likes, oh, what the groom likes, what they like together. What is it called? A French 99 or something?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
I think so.
And it was like, why have I never had this? Because it's like champagne, gin, and lime or something. And I'm like, I like all of those things. And why have I never been in clue with this? It was lovely.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I don't ever use them. They're more for decor, but I need to just use them. But I have some of my favorite, like, cocktail books that I've bought, like recipe books. And so I feel like it's hard, though, because, okay, in the era that we're growing up in, who was I just talking to this? Maybe it was you.
Your
on
other
on
friend?
FaceTime. No, I think it was you. Maybe not.
I don't know. I tuned you out. I don't remember.
Totally, yeah. And if we're not recording, it's like, who cares? For sure. But, no, it's just hard because when, you know, in our era of living, in our day and age, when you turn 21, you, like, go and you're so excited to go and have a thing. And we know, like, what a few drinks, classic drinks are that any bar would have. But then every place has this, like, list of their signature cocktails, quote unquote. So then it's like, is this list I'm reading a normal thing you could get anywhere, or is this just what they're serving at TGI Fridays?
Sure,
so you just
fall
like,
in love with. Sure.
Well, right. So then you just don't know. So then it's like, really, it takes a long, or at least for me, it took a long time to recognize, like, oh, I've seen this word or this phrase so many times. It must be a specific, a specific thing. So, yeah.
You did not say those words to me previously, just as
great.
Oh,
I wonder who I was talking to, friend alert. I don't know. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast. That's the funniest intro. I'm Amy.
I'm Amanda.
And we probably
have a plan.
The single teacher and her best friend don't really care about their brand. If you're still here, that means you're listening. So you probably understand. Ooh, we probably have a plan. We probably have a plan. I like it at the same time. I kind of think now in our new versions of ourselves, we try to get it exact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, you know what I mean? Like, we try to lean in.
Sure, like tryhards.
Like tryhards.
Like, probably they don't even say that anymore, though, right? Like, they've already moved on from that, yeah.
I think the 5th graders probably still do. I feel like they hold on to things a bit more because they're like, I don't know. I think my 5th graders will act like they are experiencing, like, nostalgia at different points. And it's really funny.
For, like, the first grade.
Totally. Yeah, they'll be like, oh, man, I remember that. That was so crazy, dude. And I'm like, yeah. And so then they're just, so I feel like for them holding on is like, oh, I remember that. And I'm just like, oh, it's just a lot to take in. So I feel like they hold on a little longer, perhaps, than they ought.
Sure. Along that vein, I had this realization. I was talking to somebody else, and I knew somebody, yeah. And I said something like, oh, man, yeah, I know, I'm turning 35 this year. She's like, what? 35? You do not look like you're 35. You look like you could be, like, 28. And I was so thrilled by that.
Yeah.
And then, talking to husband Shawn after, I was like, oh, man, I'm at the point in my life where that compliment really just...
It hit too good.
Too deep and too good, where I was like, oh man, yeah. So...
That's really tough.
It is, because I'm like, 28 was not that long ago, but that felt thrilling,
Yeah.
Me? Like, 28? Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's that's ultimately tough. Mm-hmm. We talked about my gray hair, right?
Yeah, because I got to witness it.
Yeah, because I told you, I must have said on the pod, but forgive me, I've forgotten that I said this. But yeah, my initial true, honest thought was, oh, I'm old and ugly. It's like, what? That's super harsh on yourself. On anyone else, like, do I think that about other people? Totally. Yeah. Like, it's just not a good look. And I was like, oh, I don't love, my gut reaction was that. But thankfully, you were literally in the same house as me, so I could be like...
And I was thrilled.
Yeah, and you were so excited, and you were like, oh, I haven't had that yet. My hair is just blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I guess I thought for sure you're going to be like, oh, dude, I remember mine. It's so crazy. Don't even worry,
I keep waiting.
Girl.
I'm eager. Again, husband Shawn has so much gray hair. Mm-hmm. So he's deep in it. But yeah, I keep waiting.
Well, but men annoyingly look, I think, good with, like distinguished and like, wow, you look really cool.
Well, and again, his father was completely gray at 40 and husband Shawn's 31. So the trajectory seems to be... I'm here for it.
So that made me think of one point. Are you familiar with the term silver fox?
Of course.
Okay, so one time I was making a complete joke to my sister Amber, friend of the podcast, about a particular minister, which is really tough.
Go on.
And I said, I think I truly was trying to be funny, and I think I had just learned that term. And this particular minister now had, like, more visible, like, whitish, grayish hair than perhaps me and my sister were, like, used to seeing, because we didn't see this particular gentleman all that often. So I said, hey, it's Silver Fox. And she's like, no, thankfully no. Oh, man, great call out, though. That would have been really tough. No, I said it to Amber, and Amber was just like, no, like, we can't say that.
You can either bleep it out or cut it out completely, but can I guess?
Absolutely, you can guess. And...
yeah, that's so the wrong comment.
I know. It was an immediate, like, oh, no, I'm just gonna, like, to Amber, and she's like, Amy, no, that is a no. And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure, no. And I don't, again, the other one that you mentioned, we can kind of joke and be like, actually, he is kind of a silver fox. This friend, no, like, that's weird, like,
precious to the heart, but yeah,
of course, but no. Anyway, sorry, that just made me think
about
it.
That's great. It's so insulary, but so great.
Well, and I think Amber will get a kick out of that, because every now and then she will remind me that I did say that. I'm like, oh, I kind of was hoping we would forget that in my, I don't know.
Kind of hoping I would bring it up on a podcast.
I know. Yeah, I can't help myself. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about that I probably shouldn't on the podcast, but,
That's almost the name of our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We probably shouldn't say this, but, yeah.
Okay,
well,
so you're on break.
Yeah.
And I think you've been sitting on a story that I'm very interested to hear about what you did yesterday on break.
Wait, like the DMV?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I had a real moment of thinking, so today, listeners, we're recording on Tuesday, which we don't normally do. And last Tuesday was the craziest day of my life that I can't really get into right now. Yeah. So I just had a moment where my brain short-circuited.
Oh, okay, sure.
We will get into it, listeners, on the pod last Tuesday, but it's just not time yet, and you'll see why. But anyway, that's a fun, or you won't. Come ask me about it in person. Just kidding. No, so yeah, yesterday I had a moment where I was kind of not kind in my brain to the dear people at the DMV, because I had to get the real ID. So, the one I'm carrying around, the real, for real, when things stop being nice and start being real. So I need to get the real ID, and I go there, and it took me 3 tries to get the kiosk right. I was able to log in. I felt feeling good about that. Okay, not to brag, kind of a thing.
She did text the words hair flip.
I did. I was like, oh, look at you getting in 3 tries or less. But it was 3 tries. And so then I go and find a spot, and I'm texting Amanda, and there's just, like, I can overhear. It's almost completely silent, which is a bummer, but it's packed. So it's just a weird energy, And then you can just hear the lady is talking about every possible thing just loud, you can just hear everyone else's appointment just exactly how it's going. And she's like, yeah, well, you can tell them it'll be about a 2-hour wait. And I'm like, oh, so I hear her say that. And so then I text Amanda, you guys, listeners, and I was like, well, it sounds like their reputation precedes them or something like that. Like, it's going to be terrible, blah, blah, blah. I live in a military town, so there were some good-looking people around just in full uniform, and I was like, wow, what a time to be alive. And then they called my name, and I'm like, oh. And so then I go, or my number or whatever, and so then I go over, and I was done in, less than 15 minutes, and it was an absolute delight, and it all got done really quickly. But wow. I just want to apologize.
I didn't know that ending.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I kind of paused when you said a crazy story. I was like, oh, actually, it was an absolute delight, and I'm sorry for all the stuff I said and texted you about the DMV because they're doing some good stuff. Turns out you just gotta make an appointment, and they're like, yeah, we had you in exactly when we said we were gonna have you in. So you waited until your time was supposed to start, and then we called you. We called you back right then. And I'm like, oh, well, sure. So, yep, that's the whole story. I don't have it yet. I have like the paper ID. Oh. Which is
okay, annoying. I was going to ask how'd the old photo turn out.
Oh, don't get me started on the photo. So, the photo is tough because I immediately was just like, chin. Like double chin kind of thing. It was just an instant like, oh. And I only have a black and white printout. I'm like, maybe in color this bad boy is going to look a little better. But, like, to separate out where my neck begins and where my I don't know, but I was like, oh, this is not a great angle. But my old picture I was 22, because it's 10 years ago, and I had straight across bangs, and it was just art school Amy. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
tough
which we loved her.
Go.
I know, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it actually, ultimately, it went fine. Yeah.
Well, that's great. We have to get ours. We've got 2 more years. We can write it out. And then we're gonna have to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm already just dreading it. But I still have my ID, my driver's license from Illinois. Because it was my last with my maiden name on it. And so they, like, stamped it void whenever I changed my name, but I kept it, and yeah, I still have it, and, like, I have, like, a wallet that I keep, like, our health insurance cards and stuff that I don't have to carry all the time, but I just keep it, with that. And, I'll pull it out sometimes, because I'm like, my hair was so long and blonde, and, like, that was, like, right, I'd gotten my Illinois license because I had moved, and it just was, like, you could just see I was just, like, felt good in my life, like, oh, yeah, she was nice.
That's such an interesting timestamp, because you're just, looking at it like, oh. That reminded me of a few things, but have I shared on the pod when I was, like, 15 and I had my learner's permit, we were out to dinner with some church friends, like, brother-in-law Shawn's really good friends that all play basketball, a certain family, wink, wink. And we were all, actually, I feel like several of our listeners will be like, I'm there. And so we're all to dinner, and it's just so horribly cringy, like, and crazy. But we're at dinner. I don't know, I guess I was about to pay, so that's why I had, like, my little wallet thing out. And I just, like, I put my learner's permit, not even my license, just to a prominent place where I thought maybe the table could see, like, that's pretty cool, and, like, we're going to ask me about it, which is insane. And these guys are, like, so out of my league. They still are. They're married now with children, but still, it's like, what are you doing? And then Amber caught me, like, she saw me, read the situation exactly, and was just like, stop, what are you, and I'm like, oh, like, just being caught in that is so shameful.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, I have a lot of cringe stories today. I grew out of most of these things, but boy, oh boy.
But she's still in there somewhere,
Yeah, she's still, like, she's still very alive. It's so true. Yeah.
Well, and it's so obvious because I don't know if it was this way, and I don't know if this like goes across all the states, but like in Ohio, it was like your driver's license is sideways, but your permit is up and down, you know, so it's so obvious that like it's your learner's permit and not,
Mine, thankfully, was not that way, but it still was just one of the weird, I mean, I've done a lot of weird stuff, but that's pretty weird to just, like, have it, like, can you see this, you know, but anyway. Speaking of shame, Speaking
Let's
of that,
talk about that shame.
Sure. Well, I was going to ask, so, you know, this episode, for better or worse, is about cleaning.
Now we've just got to the main point of the episode. Just got to the reason that you're here. Just got to the title of the episode. I wonder how many minutes we've spent. Oof. Yowza.
And listeners, one of the co-hosts is not thrilled about it, you know, and I feel like there's a well there of things to talk about when it comes to cleaning. We can dip into like organizational stuff if you want to, but then it also kind of leads us into, we're about to start the spring holy days that we both Amanda and I observe, and so, which is not about cleaning, it's more about like spiritual matters and stuff, but it seemed like a nice little tie-in. But no, but I bring up the shame thing because, like, okay, what is your relationship with, like, with cleaning? Are you were you labeled messy growing up? And it might for you be like, okay, cool. And I didn't know if it was going to be like, even like with your mom and stuff, like pre her getting sick versus, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if there was any kind of shift there.
The only girl in a house of brothers, I had my own room and my own bathroom.
Wow.
So, always my own space, and categorically, which is so funny, because I think maybe I might have mentioned it on another episode, but it's like, I see it in my girl, it's so funny, I see it in my girls, because I have two girls and I have two boys, and my oldest son, I don't think I've picked up a piece of his clothing off the floor in 5 years, and he's 6.5, you know, like, as soon as he, like, figured out, oh, this is where clothes go, they've always gone in the basket. Same with shoes. He does not leave stuff around, but my girls, it's like they do not see it. They do not see it.
Okay.
And like they'll be standing on a pile of their own clothes, and I'm like, girls, look around. What do we see? And they're like, it's like interwoven in their toes, and they're like, what? I don't see anything. I'm like, pajamas, your dress, you're like, and I'm like, they cannot see it, and that is exactly how I was as a child. Like, literally, because our house, master bedroom was on the first floor. Second floor was children's bedrooms. So, again, probably not the best setup in the world, because your parents only come upstairs, you know, not all the time unless they really have to. So, as I got older, you know, it'd be like, my dad would come upstairs, like, once a week or whatever, and he'd be like, what is going on up here? And I'm like, I literally don't see it, but I would have clothes everywhere. I had a futon in my room, and so that futon just was like the chair, you know,
of course,
so to
and
speak.
it's a big chair for
that.
Yes,
but it's a giant chair, just full, like everything just came off and got thrown on the futon. Like, I just did not see it until I moved out on my own and had my own space, and then I very immediately made a 180 turn and was like, everything has a place. I had, like, so much pride in all this stuff, and I even remember my dad, like, saying to me, like, well, you'll just come to learn to appreciate it when it's yours, and it's like, it's true, I didn't have to work for any of that stuff when I was, like, a kid and a teenager and stuff, like, it just, it's school starting soon, you have to take me to go get new clothes. Excuse me? No, they don't have to, you know, but, like, I just kind of expected that, and so, yeah, once I went to college, had my first apartment, then subsequently went and shared a house with girls in Texas for college, and then, like, all the times it was like, oh, no, everything has a place, and, like, and I've been that way since, but the first 20 years of my life, no, not in my own space, but then again, I also was cleaning up the kitchen like, house, like, the general, like, living house space, I was very aware of, like, what my stuff was, but my bedroom was a no-go.
Okay.
What about
This
you?
is so interesting. Well, because
I know.
again, we just didn't know each other. So,
No.
okay. Are you familiar? I'm not even really familiar with where it comes from, but of Oscar and Felix. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, that's what my parents used to always. It must be like a really old show, so forgive us if we have older listeners that are like rolling their eyes at us right now. And Mom, I'm sorry, I don't actually know where this comes from, but basically, one of them was like really messy, and one of them was really neat, and so that's what they called me and my sister because we always shared a room.
Oh, great.
And we shared a room till Amber got married, so like always shared a room. And poor Amber, I mean, she is so. We've talked about her ad nauseum on the pod, but she's just a very like put together person, kind of always has been. And she's not messy. She's not like a neat freak by any means. She's not like, she's not like Monica from Friends or something, just like spazzing about it. She just is very like conscientious with that kind of thing. And I mean, I don't know. Are you born messy? I don't know, but I just.
You're an artist. It's not in your nature.
Artist. No, I'm telling you. And it sounds so, to me, like, silly to be like, I just can't. It's not that I can't, I can't. I'm a homeowner. Like, I do my absolute best. But, like, even now, at 32, I'm just so naturally inclined to just be so messy. And, yeah, I don't see it. Or I'll see it, certainly. But it's like, oh, well, there's so many other things that I need to be, like, doing or, like, that are more important than this moment. Okay. And then in teaching art class for so long, too, like, I know where everything is. It's just, we don't normally have, like, transition time between classes and stuff like that. So it's just like, this gets moved over here for the time being, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can organize like it's nobody's business. I can color code things. All of my... like hung up clothes are all in like Roy G. Biv. I have all the exact same hanger on it, so it's an even space. Like, I have all these systems in place to like help me try to be a bit more successful. But I think I might be the messiest person. I don't know that I know.
Like the declaration.
I really so. I've never ran across someone. I don't think, well, but, also when you go over to someone's home or something, like, they've cleaned, they've cleaned up and stuff. And so when I have people over, like, my mom actually popped over today because she had an appointment in town, like, close to where I live. And so she's like, I'm here. Like, not like I'm on the way. Like, I'm here at your house as I was actually doing dishes. So then it's like, oh, well, at least she found me, like, doing some kind of task. Yeah. But I was like, sure, you're welcome to come in. I was like, it's an absolute disaster, but yeah, come on in. And so she comes in and she's like, oh, and she's so sweet, whatever else. But she's just so quick to be like, well, what could I do? And so I'll be telling her a story while she simultaneously just begins to iron somehow, like in my house. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I've always been super, super messy, very type B, quote unquote. I prefer certainly to work in like a nice, clean, calm space or whatever. It's not like I can't work in that environment. Obviously that would be best, but I can thrive in a very chaotic situation and like not even blink. And I feel like, if I am sharing a space with someone, I'm definitely very like, I'm going to pick everything. I mean, I really try to at least, like, okay, I'm going to, like, make sure to, blah, 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 and I definitely have gotten better as I've gotten, older and stuff as well. But, yeah, like, on trips and stuff with people, I'm very, like, okay, and then I'm going to go, like, wipe down the kitchen and, like, go do this and, like, like, try to get these things kind of, like, really together.
It's not that you're, like, oblivious or, like,
Right.
Yeah.
There's just no one checking up on me ever.
Sure.
So.
Well, yeah, and if you can thrive in, like, that doesn't bother you, because it does for me. Like, I can be in the kitchen all day and that's totally fine, but like I will probably do the dishes and like reset the space 4 or 5 times. Like, I'll make a soup and then it's like, okay, well, I need to transition and mix up some bread or like whatever, and it's like, oh no, I can't operate in this soup mess or
Yeah.
the cutting board, and like I don't have that much counter space, so it's just like, well, I have to give it a clean slate to like. So I would
Yeah.
say the kitchen gets cleaned every single day, but then
Okay.
I kind of have like a threshold of like I'll start to notice the bathroom sinks are grimy or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, it needs to be clean, but I know it's gonna take me about 5 to 7 more of those. Oh yeah, it needs to be cleaned,
Okay.
and like consecutively getting grosser before I finally hit the threshold where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it needs to get done right now. And so, like,
Yeah.
I'm very aware of that. Like, it's the same thing with, like, I cut husband Shawn's hair and the kids' hairs. I will say, oh, yeah, we probably need to cut your hair 14 times, knowing that the first time I say it is the first of 14 times before we finally find ourselves, like, so I don't know. I think but, like, the kitchen gets reset pretty much 3 times a day because I need, like, that space. But I also live amongst chaos, like toys everywhere. But I know at the end of the night, that will go away. Like before the kids go to bed, like that gets reset. And so I'm cool with the chaos midday, knowing there's light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, like since the kitchen's my domain, I feel like I like to have that set space. But then like the other household duties of like, cleaning the bathrooms or like dusting or... Oh, it's just not the highest on my priority list. Not like grungy and dirty, but it's just like, it's not, I don't know, it's just not high on the priority list.
Totally. Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that. Like, I think I'm one of the messiest people I am aware of in my life, but I don't think, I'm not like dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shower, as you know, and wash my hair because my hair can't handle it literally every day, or I'm like, no, like, I mean, I think about it a few times a day too. Like, I really, really like feeling like clean. Laundry stuff, I'll have piles and piles of laundry that are not put away, but they're clean.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
I'm never going to make it there.
Right. I mean, I hope. Oh man, I'm working. We're working on it. Again, me and Mom did a lot of laundry today, so. But yeah, I think there's a difference between like messy and like, like dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty. I don't
like
feel
gross.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not leaving like sticky stuff. That's an immediate no. Which is why it's an interesting. Is like so now all of my friends and nieces and nephews, all that, they everybody's got kids, and so they're always kind of sticky or something. And like that's an interesting one that I'm like, oh, that's tough. Like just to be around all of that, I'm just so not used to it. I mean, I am because at school it's that way.
Blue. I hate blue for that reason.
Totally, but that at least it's like a controlled thing that I understand. But when it's like a new, like an outside stick, it's like an external threat. I'm like, where did you come from? Like, I want to understand, of where.
See, and I feel like I am more on the, like, our children are feral sort of way. So, like, especially my youngest, he's about to be 2. So we're just in this phase where, like, his face is just covered with gunk all the time.
Yeah.
Indoor, outdoor, food. It doesn't matter. Like, it just, I'm like, oh, why are your cheeks gray? Like, what is that? And it's just like, it just is that time. So I definitely feel like, again, like, I don't know. I tried to, maybe it's like the don't sweat the small stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's where it is. Because it's like, no, my kids I'm like afraid to say it, but they get bathed once a week.
Okay.
For Saturday.
Sure. Yeah.
Literally.
Sabbath.
Truly.
Now
in the summer, when we joined the pool last year, which we plan to do again this year, we did shower every day that we went to the pool because immediately we got home and showered with soap to get the chlorine off of my daughter's beautiful blonde hair, which will immediately turn green, and their skin. So summertime, we kicked up the showering to the nth degree, which was just laborious. But truly, like my kids, unless they're, covered in mud or something, which sometimes they are, and then they get thrown in a bath. But on the reg, husband Shawn and I shower, 2 times a week, maybe 3.
What?
I know, but I will take a bath, though.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter, when it is cold, and the thought of, like, sinking into a warm bath in the evening is just glorious. But I'll just do hot water. Like, I'm not, I'm not zhuzhing it up much, but...
See,
so, I don't know.
Interesting. I know.
But people still like us, Like, I don't think we smell, to my knowledge.
Sure.
This might be the, twist ending of this podcast.
And then it's just, like, sign off, delete. That is so interesting. Well, I think, too, okay, so when we all were staying together, mealtime for me was a little stressful. We talked about how I was a little high-strung. But also, I think in part just because it's like, there are little crumbs now everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that stimulation is tough.
And that, because it's only ever just me I'm cleaning up that for. So when there is a large group and like all the little things, I'm like, it kind of stresses me out a little bit, which is funny because if you would look in like my living room currently, we got some piles of this thing, all this stuff needs to be put away. Several random bags that have been like go bags that now have the clothes out, but there's shoes, jewelry that's in there from multiple different, like, I stayed at my brother's house, I stayed here, or whatever, that are not put away. So you wouldn't look in that space and be like, oh, we got ourselves a neat freak. But like, if there's any, like little crumbs or any little
crumbs
that
on the
kind
floor,
of stuff,
barefoot, it's the worst.
Yeah, that's just a hard pass for me. So I think. Yeah,
so I have to give
your threshold.
A shout out to husband Shawn on this one. Okay. Because overstimulated, drove me insane, and there's no way to stay on top of it. Until husband Shawn, I guess almost a year ago, got me a robotic vacuum.
DJ Roomba.
Yes. Pause. We had a robotic vacuum when we first got married in our first little apartment, and it was a super cheap one way before, like, again, 2017 when technology was terrible. And it was called a Bob Sweep, so we called it DJ Bobby Newport.
Oh, Bobby Newport. That's
Bobby
great.
Newport. So we still will sometimes call it Bobby Newport. But no, this one is so advanced and wonderful, and so
great.
Yeah, I can control it from my phone, and it maps the room, and so you can just like tell it to go to one spot and clean up this one spot, or it can do the whole room, and it does it.
That's cool.
Rhythmically, because I don't like when it just is like this way, that way, this way, that way, and it just like is chaotic. It goes in a grid, so it goes by lines. It's predictable. I know if it just went here, then I can step here because it's going to go here next, and I'm not, like, having to dodge the vacuum. Yeah. And truly, that thing runs once a day for sure, sometimes a couple times a day, and pretty much I try to do under our kitchen table where we eat in the kitchen every day. Yeah. To just, like, and it just has helped so much.
That's
so
awesome.
And
well, and it just makes sense.
Know.
You have 4 kids, and they're running.
Yeah, and we'll say, hey, we got to clean up for. We call it Sharkadilla. Like, you have to clean up for Sharkadilla, or I'll be like, hey, it's time to clean up, and they're like clean up or like Sharkadilla, and I'm like Sharkadilla, because if you don't pick it up, then he's gonna vacuum it up, and we're gonna throw it away, and like that's the rule. So they will literally pick up every tiny little thing off the floor if they know the vacuum is coming, which is just marvelous.
Yeah,
so marvelous.
That's great.
Yeah. So just
I think that's a good like life hack thing, and then you're able to kind of get on top of it. I know another friend of ours. They have now 3 kids, and they have a dog. So they're just all the little pieces of food, and the dog comes around. I don't
know how.
But my thing is, then it's just, now everything's covered in a lick.
Mm-hmm. And like dog hair, and leaf debris, and mulch, and whatever else.
And of course, we all know, listeners, that how I feel about animals, and my brain cannot wrap around, like, the appeal, I guess, because I'm afraid of them. And so I'm afraid, and then it's also like so there's already a barrier. And then it's just oh, but you're an animal, so you're not even, there's a sweet little baby is going to make messes because, they're just little, and they're figuring stuff out, and they're figuring out how to eat and stuff. But if it's just an animal, I'm like, I mean, you're inviting in just a big dum-dum in that's just going to like, oh, I don't know, you know, and just like, and literally lick everything. Like, it just boggles, it boggles the mind. Yeah. Just because it's picked up doesn't mean, do you know what I mean? I don't know. So
I do remember, so because we grew up with dogs,
but it's so
always.
Normal. Oh, sure, okay.
And I remember we would have them, like, lick the plates, and then I was so confused in my tiny little brain for so long. Like, why do we have to put these in the dishwasher? Like, why are these not clean? Look at it! It's clean! You know?
Right. Looks can be
It really took me a long time to nail that down in my brain.
Totally. Yeah. Well, okay, so I've learned a lot about cleaning recently. Amanda knows this.
I know. I was thinking while you were even saying it, I'm like, it's so ironic.
I know.
A little turn in your life.
Sure. So in an effort to make some more money, listeners, I've been taking on like cleaning houses and like taking on a few different homes. From like friends that needed it, like they had a need and they were going to hire someone and they had like budgeted for it anyway. And then I was in need of some extra finances and stuff, and so I was like, oh, okay. And so I will give myself at least this credit. Like, I really, like, I tried to, like, full-on research and, like, YouTube video after YouTube video and, like, do all, like, learn as much as I can, like, how can I be the best, like, most efficient, like, house cleaner kind of person. I mean, we both got excited, you know, excited is a strong word. I won't speak for you, but I think you kind of saw the writing on the wall. But I called and talked to another one of our friends who's in Texas, like another person of our faith, and we chatted for like 40 some minutes about like, hey, like I just picked her brain because she owns like a house cleaning company and stuff, and so I'm like, do you have any tips for things? And it was like really helpful. And I will say it's been a very like humbling experience, you know, just cleaning up your friends' toilets and stuff like that. But I think it's been really good for me. Like, I think that, like, it's not something I want to do forever, we learned. And the first couple, I ended up it just happened this way. Like, the scheduling of it was, like, a deep clean that was supposed, like, it ended up being so many hours worth. So there was a deep clean I had scheduled in the week and, like, another, I don't know, like 3.5 hour-ish clean. So like just a more regular situation. And that was all in the same week. So like, and when you're not used to like moving your body in that way, and I'm also like a quite not large person, but I'm a really tall person too. So like, just like leaning in that way and not being like used to that level where like my back was like wrecked. I was like, oh dude, but I made a good chunk of change in that like little bit of time, which was so helpful because I had some financial needs that were a bit pressing to me at the times, and so I'm still doing it now. But anyway, it's just been a humbling experience. I learned a lot. I definitely have learned more like tricks and stuff of like, ooh, okay, I could do this way more efficiently, like in my own house. So by the time I got home, I'm like, ooh, I don't actually have like a good duster. So like I ordered a good long like stretch duster thing where I can do, you know, I dusted yesterday at my house. I don't know, just some different things, but that's just been another interesting part of it all is that like but then it's like you come home and I'm like, man, my house is still so messy, but it's because I gotta be, I'm out late doing these other houses after work, this other job kind of a thing. So you can share with the listeners what you said, because I got to a point where you were like, are you going to do this as a, like, you know, a true side hustle? And we learned after, like, that first week, like, oh, no, this is a means to an end. So cool. Like, absolutely not. And you were like, yeah, I kind of thought, buddy, like, that's going to be pretty, you know, intense for a while. And I was like, oh, okay. But I knew it was going to be hard. I didn't think it was going to be, like, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, but I was just like, I don't know. I do like the, like, you know, you're doing this job. It's really going to help. Like, one friend was, like, a new mother. And so, like, it was really going to help this situation. Another friend of mine has, like, some mobility issues and stuff. So it's like, this is accomplishing a task that you leave the place literally better than the way you found it. Like, so that's, like, a cool, nice. Like, satisfying thing.
Yeah, I thought a couple times, like, oh man, wouldn't it be so nice to, like, hire someone while you're at the, like, while you're on a trip or something to come and do a deep clean? Because, like, but the kids are starting to get in on it of, like, I like to leave the house, you know, pretty much spotless, because once you come home, you crash in with all of your stuff. But if the slate itself is clean, then it's easy to just tackle what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've thought, but like, I'm not cleaning baseboards or scrubbing stuff, you know, like, it's just like making sure it's vacuumed and everything's put away and the kitchen's clean. So yeah, I've thought a few times, like, oh man, wouldn't it be nice if, like, yeah, we left for like the feast or something, and like the day before we come home is when I have like hired someone I know personally to like come deep clean. Oh,
that's a great idea.
Amazing. I know.
Well, and I also want to throw it out there too that one of my friends who I've been cleaning for, I don't think she might be saying this, but like, I don't know. I think, and that's what I wanted to get into as well, of like childhood cleaning and your ideas on cleaning and how it relates to like morality and different things that I don't know if you grew up in a similar way that I kind of did. But there's no shame. I just want to make an announcement. There's no shame in like getting help, like with that kind of thing. Like, especially if you're in like a really difficult place, or like, I don't know, there's a myriad of reasons why your home might not be spotless, but one of them is not that you're like a bad person, you know? Yeah. And I feel like that kind of needs to be stated perhaps more for some people more than others. For me, I feel like that was something that I knew. I've been messy for such a long time. Like, I just, that's just how I am. And I have to really work at it to make sure, because the flip side of that is, you know, like, God has blessed me with this beautiful home. So I want to make sure that I'm taking care of that, and that I'm hosting people, and that I'm like using this blessing to serve others as well as like other than just myself. But then I don't know, I think with the friend of mine that's like, oh, I've almost feel I could see a world in which, especially mothers, I'm imagining, I'm not a mother, but like I could see a world in which they would feel wrong or bad for getting help cleaning their house, or like hiring someone, let's say if they had the means to do so, because, oh, well, my mom just did it all and they had this many kids. You know what I mean? And so she and I have kind of chatted about that before. So I wondered if you experienced stuff like that. Like, if, you know, like...
I actually didn't, because we actually did have someone who cleaned our house. My dad is 77, and he got married a year and a half ago. And I think in the last because they still have someone who comes and cleans like once a month. So my whole adult growing up, my whole growing up, and oftentimes actually it was, for a very long time, it was women from our congregation. Like, it was like one lady for a long time, and then like I remember the worldwide split, it was like, oh, she's not coming anymore, and it was like kind of like sad, because like I loved her. And then for a very long time it was another woman from our congregation who came once a week and cleaned our home, but again, like, not picked up our stuff. It was clean the bathrooms, like all that stuff. So I actually don't carry any of that, because
interesting.
Even when I go to visit my dad now, it's like, oh, what day is so and so coming? Because it's like, we want to make sure we have the kids out of the house, or like we'll go to the park that day or the library that day if so-and-so's coming, or he'll schedule it like before he got remarried and it was just him. He would make sure that the lady who cleaned would come like right before a visit, so that like the bathrooms were clean and you know, whatever. So I actually don't carry that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I would love, if we had the means, I would love to have somebody come like twice a month to like deep clean. I would love that. It's just not in our means, because, and I do think it should be
expensive.
I was going to say, I think rightfully so, it should be a very good pay rate. And even, I don't know, like, I nannied, and all of my nanny families had like cleaning companies or a cleaning woman or like cleaning teams, like whatever. So I don't know. I guess that concept doesn't, I guess I've always been around that. Until my own.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Well, it is expensive too, and it's one of those things of like trying to figure out what to charge is also tricky and stuff too. But it's like, after doing it a bit, I'm like, oh, I could charge more. Like, I totally
get the amount of work you actually pour out.
It's like, true like back-breaking work
Yep.
And you're all, because you're also like, boom, 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 you're doing it efficiently. And like the friend of mine that's a professional house cleaner, like she, you know, kind of made the distinction for me, which I didn't know was a thing, but it makes sense. She's like, well, I'm not a housekeeper. I'm cleaning the home. So I'm doing baseboards. I'm cleaning it. I'm not picking up clutter. So if there's clutter there, I'm leaving it. Like or I'm able, if it's a thing I'm able to move out of the way to get real quick, I will. But like that many move arounds is going to it's going to slow down my process, because I'm actually here to address like, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And it's not like a feisty thing or anything like that. It's just like a distinction that actually made a lot of sense once you like.
Well, and we would pre-clean. We would pre-clean, like if it was Thursday or whatever, like Wednesday night, like we knew so and so was coming. So yeah, you have to clean up. And I do always remember this kid being like, why are we cleaning up for the cleaning lady? This makes no sense. But you understand. And similarly for the families I nannied for, it was like, oh man, yeah, it's Tuesday and so-and-so's coming. So I would like make sure the clutter is out of the way in the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff. And they would be, you know, cleaning while I have the kids in another part of the house or like whatever. So
yeah, it's been a really interesting experience, like I said. And like, it's definitely humbling of like, whew, okay. But it's also like I said, I mean, I'm a broken record, I guess, but like, I do think it actually did, or it is like helping the people that are needing it right now and stuff. Yeah, totally. I think I know I've plugged the book on the pod before, I'm sure. How to Keep House While Drowning. Yeah. By Casey Davis. That book has been like really, really helpful for me, because that one was one that like in the first chapter of it, and again, I think we talked about it, but just worth another mention, I think, just to help guide the thinking a bit in the conversation. But like, she went through how like cleaning tasks, like your home is there to serve you. Your home exists to serve you. You do not exist to serve your home. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And again, she's not coming from like a biblical standpoint. And I understand that like, this is a blessing and I need to like make sure that I'm cherishing it and like, you know, whatever else. But it's also like, it's here as a blessing to protect and house me and like my family and people that are people, you know, not like I don't exist just to serve this inanimate object. And like, if something is not perfectly clean or tidy all the time, that's not a moral failing. And I think that's something I really had to like work through when we opened on shame. I just feel like there's so much of me that has been and it's not, my parents were like so wonderful and they weren't like, you are a monster if you don't have this, like, you know, they wanted us to clean up after ourselves, as they should, like they, you know, that's all fine and well. I think my brain just kind of took it and like really ran with it. But I think it was kind of cultural, at least where I grew up. It was very like, you know, like, you know, well, cleanliness or whatever, tidiness
is above godliness or something, or second to godliness or whatever. Yeah,
and it's like, I don't think that's accurate. You know, like, again, you should take care of the things that we have, but like, there has to be some kind of balance within that, I think, and I'm getting better at it for sure, but.
No, I think I even mentioned it last season, but the realization I had once my third child was born, that it was like, my messy living room is not a commentary on my value as a human or a mother, was like literally shackles removed from. Because the stress to try to maintain all of that and also try to soak in your baby being little, they don't exist. You can't do both, in my opinion. For our scenario. And so, when I finally just was able to be like, nope, this mess is just here because we live here, and I'm choosing to not clean that up so I can sit with this baby and look at my other babies play and whatever. And so I still kind of feel like that's kind of, where I live, of like I said, like the bathroom or whatever. Like, it's just like, it's not a commentary on my value as a human or a mother or a friend or any of these things.
Well, and if things are like really bad or really out of
it could be, it could turn into.
Well, it's also like that's, I think, more times than not, like a symptom of something else. Like, and so the book kind of goes into that as well, of like, hey, if you're not taking care of even yourself, so like not showering or not like doing hair because or whatever it is, because it's okay just not to do those things necessarily, but it's like, okay, but do you not think that you're worthy of that time? And does that make sense? So there's something that you have to kind of think about. And like, you know, a messy kitchen or a perpetually messy living room or living space is not, like you said, like evidence of like that you're a bad person or something, but it might be evidence that you're going through a hard time. You know what I mean? Like over time, it might be a little like, hey, like let's look into that and like let's wash those sheets and like just because you'll just feel better after it, you know, like that kind of thing. It's definitely something like to keep an eye on. It can be a litmus test, but it might be more of a symptom of something else versus like an indication that you're person. Like right. But truly, I mean, I feel like that's how I felt for so long of just like I'm trash because I mean I don't know, like I'll just arrive to a space with a tote bag and then I'm all over the room somehow. I'm like, oh, like I just spread out and it's just so like, and doesn't make me like a bad person, but I also need to like make sure to respect other people's stuff with that too. Like I don't want to stress somebody else out by my, you know, behavior or that kind of thing. So when you're in a living situation or sharing a space, I guess, you know, just be cognizant of other people as well. But did you have chores growing up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we did too. Mine was always dusting. I feel like I did not do a good job with that.
Ours was ever rotating, and it was often left with a note on the kitchen counter. It's just such a bummer. Like, especially in the summertime when it's like, Dad already left for work, and, you know, Mom's whatever. And so there's a note that's just like, Amanda, and then it's like all these things, and it's like check, 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 and then it's like love Dad, and you're like, really? Is it love Dad? Huh?
This feels more like a list. Yeah. We broke a lot of beans in the summer. Wasn't really a chore, but kind of, because we had a garden, and of course at the time we're like, oh, we got to go pick stuff out of the garden, and you wanted to do it early. I know exactly. It's like what now? I'm like, what an insane blessing. At the time, we're like, oh, we got to go out in the field and pick stuff. And you want to get out there early because you don't want to be out there at noon. It's like super hot.
Backbreaking sun.
Scorching. Yeah. So then Mom's like, we really got to go before. And then we're just like, oh, you know, there's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my dad literally picked cotton as a child. And like they took off school. Truly, they took off school. Or like, what did he say? I think he said like, at like 11 a.m. they bust all the boys out to the field to literally pick cotton. But yeah, same. I'm like, to pick lettuce? No! But
man.
Yeah, kids are the worst.
No, I know kids are the worst. Oh, man. And I don't know. I've had this realization lately too that like kids are just really selfish.
Yeah, it's of course.
Because like they don't know any better, and like we were too. Like it was just like, well, it's all about me. And then I think back, and I'm like, oh, I had to do all these chores during the summer, but I still had plenty of time for all those America's Next Top Model marathons. You know,
right? You're like, maybe it accumulated 45 minutes of your time.
Really? It's so crazy to think about. We're like, oh man. Well, and growing up, so Mom obviously had a different situation on that respect with my mom, but like. It was healthy and all those sorts of things. So like Mom did my laundry. I mean, still she doesn't do my laundry now, but like the moment she's around, if my laundry is near, she can. I almost said she can smell it. That sounds funny that it smells bad. Right. But no, she can sense it. Like, well, we can be putting a load in. Like she's just always like such a like boom 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 like go getter. And she said on multiple occasions like I like evaluate the success at the end of the day based on how much I've accomplished that day. You know, like she said that a lot growing up, and I feel like recently and stuff too. And I'm like, yes, totally. But I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like naive and just haven't got there yet. But I'm like, well, like spiritually, I think that's true. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like. Yeah. Check. I don't know. It definitely feels good to check things off of a to-do list, and we should definitely take care of things. But it's like, is that, you know, if you didn't get the laundry done, I would still love you, and it would still be all okay, maybe.
Yes, right? Yeah, totally. No, totally.
But, yeah, it's interesting. But also, you know, my mom and you actually have gone through more similar things, perhaps, than she and I have. But, like, you know, she also was raising 4 kids. And she was at home, So similar to your situation
well,
right
and
now,
that
too.
kind of
So
angers you in some, like, I don't know, when there's, like, so much chaos, if, you can, like, have some predictability and, I don't have, like, hard and set, like, oh, I always do the laundry every day, or I always, but, like, like, when I see the kids' laundry, like, starts to get to, like, 3/4 full in their hamper, then I'm like, nope, into the washing machine, because, like, I'll just feel overwhelmed if I don't start that now.
Totally.
And,
yeah.
I have some stuff like that. Well, and, like, of course, I run the dishwasher every day. We don't have enough dishes.
Yeah.
Like...
I do almost every day. My dishwasher's pretty small, though, I think, because, I mean, I'm not a gadget girly necessarily, but I'm not. And I feel like, I know. And so when I cook stuff, too, I end up using, like, and then this, and then this, and this. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a lot. Okay, well, we've answered most of my big questions about
cleaning.
Cleaning, I know. I don't think it was as much of a disaster as you thought, but it does kind of lead us into what? No, guys, you did a great job. We're going to pause this here. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 of cleaning. Part 2 is going to lean a lot more into the Passover and Days of Unleavened Bread, these spring holidays that Amanda and Amy both keep. But until then, enjoy.